That's it, David, right? Like, no matter what you do, no matter what you do, problems will happen.
Yeah, always.
Like that's why I suppose that's why we do what we do, because we're problem solvers, right? Like, we've had the lived experience, whether it's been lack of confidence, whether it's been unemployment, whether it's been divorce or separation or grief, whatever. We've had these lived experiences. So, like, as a coach and a consultant myself now, realistically, all our clients are just former versions of ourselves that we've kind of been through that experience just before they have. That's kind of it, right?
Yeah, I like to talk about fast tracking people a little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, as I said earlier, we learn our best stuff from our most difficult situations. So if you try and avoid situations all the time and stay in the safe lane, you stay in your comfort zone all the time, you won't grow. So if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable because you're having a go at something new, good, because it means that you are ready to push yourself. Your mind might be absolutely screaming at you saying, don't do it, it's scary, we don't have a reference here. But actually, if you're on the edge of something new, it will feel uncomfortable. But guess what? Once you've had a go and once you've got the right people around you, we can do anything we want, literally anything we want. But staying safe just doesn't serve us. It genuinely just doesn't serve us. So, people like you and I have taken that plunge. We've done all that feeling and made it happen. But so many people don't. They sit and avoid and overthink and just talk themselves into knots about not wanting to take that step forward. And, if anyone's listening today and you've got something that you just think, I'd just love to do that thing, find a way, because you'll just stay miserable if you don't push yourself in some shape or form.
Yeah, 100%. Fucking love it.
But it has to be positive push. Again, the flip side of that is I do see people a lot who are quite broken, who are pushing and pushing and pushing so hard. There's quite a lot of broken people out there at the moment because they're working so hard. And I think there's a real balance to be had between pushing and encouraging yourself and going for something new and pushing outside that comfort zone. But there's also something to be paid attention to when you are pushing so hard that you are literally breaking.
For sure. 100%. That reminds me of something that I learned a while back. It's like perception versus perspective.
Yeah.
And we all have our own perceptions. So, like, our lived reality is all about perception, right? Like, we perceive that it's sunny outside. We perceive that it's... So, a typical example of this would be, like, if it's raining, it's a shit day. And if it's sunny, it's a good day. But why?
Yeah, exactly. All days are great, aren't they? It's just the
exactly,
weather.
Exactly. It's just weather. Like, so, we all live in this, like, bubble, our own little bubble. And we can't really see outside of that bubble. So what a good coach will do is actually take you out to that bubble and be able to look at the bubble with perspective and go, actually, this is kind of like a blind spot. This might work, and ask the right questions. And when you start looking at it through like a perspective point of view rather than a perception, you'd actually think to yourself, do you know what? When it's perception, it's always like, oh, it's shit. Like, I'm going through some shit time. Nothing's going for me. Like, everything's kind of doom and gloom. When it's perspective, you can say, right, okay, well, actually, this has happened and it's a bit shit, but I learned this out of it. But I've had this experience. Do you know what? I'm not going to do that experience again, and that'll serve me well for next time I try and run a business or set a goal or run a marathon, whatever your goal is, right?
Yeah.
Like I had a client a while ago who was training for the London Marathon. She broke her ankle in training, couldn't do it. A shit thing to happen, like really shitty thing to happen. She was really looking forward to it, really training hard for it, and then. But the perspective shift was, do you know what? I'm going to rebuild this. This is going to be a comeback story. And then she actually ran it the year after.
Brilliant. I love that.
And that's perspective rather than... Because how easy would it have been to go, do you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, I'm not running ever again.
Yeah. So many people do as well. And I think the other thing that springs to mind of what you said there that needs paying attention to again is so obviously breaking your ankle is... Like you say, it's pretty shitty if you're trying to run a marathon. It's a hard one to kind of manage your disappointment. But what I see people do is they don't learn from the shitty bit.
Mm.
You know, for her, I don't know, it might have been that she really, really could have done with some new trainers to support her ankle or something. I don't know. But with other things, you know, when you hear yourself saying, why does this keep happening to me? Or here I go again, something else has kind of not quite worked out. Maybe, just maybe, there's something that you could be doing differently and take the lesson. Because if we don't actually take the lesson, in my book I call it the resit class. You know, you're back in the resit class again and again and again, because you haven't taken the thing that, and the thing might be that you are, you know, you're running around after everyone else, and your lesson is to just minimize that a little bit. So there's something that you need to like pay attention to, because it will just keep giving you another example if you don't learn.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm getting things popping into my head now. It's like resit class.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do you know what? It's really weird. You know, like I've done a social media marketing course last year as part of like some CPD stuff, and I'm sitting there in the audience, and I'm looking, and I know what they're doing. Like they're marketing to me, they're going to tell me something at the end. Like I know what they're doing, 100%. Like I know this process, I know the framework, but my brain still goes with it. Your brain still goes in that, like, so even though you're aware of this stuff, and even though you're conscious of this stuff, you still got to like work on it. You can still be pulled into it, even if you are aware of it.